Hey, welcome back to my new video. This is Motion Designer, and in today's video I'm gonna show you how you can shoot and edit this kind of POV edits in After Effects. And also, if you love what I do and if you want to support what I do, you can grab this project file on my Patreon page by becoming a Patreon, and that's the way you can also support what I do. I would really appreciate that. Alright, so let's go inside After Effects and let's get started. Alright, so here we have two clips, and I'm just gonna drag and drop this inside After Effects, and I'm gonna drag this POV clip inside new composition that creates a new comp. And let me set this to half res so that we can work faster. And let's scrub through the timeline. You can see there's no camera here. I'll just trim the comp by Control Shift and D, and let me just go forward. I just pass myself the camera, hold the camera in the right direction, and pretend as if I grab the camera, and right after here. Okay, I'm gonna trim this Alt and the left square bracket. I'm gonna trim that, and I'm going to stitch both of that together, something like this, and bam, here. Okay, I'm gonna trim this here. Hit N on the keyboard, right click, trim comp to work area. Alright, that's the basic cut. We're gonna track this camera. Before we do that, I'll just add a lumetri color. So the reason why I added a lumetri color is I'm going to add some contrast in order for the camera tracker to track it. Curves, adjustment to this, curves. So yes, it looks ugly right now, but it's gonna make sense in a moment, right? So I'm gonna pre-compose this, Control Shift and C, and move all attributes, rename this footage. Okay, so I'm gonna rename this footage, and make sure you are at a full resolution here, and you can just hit the track camera, advance, and check this detail analysis. So it's gonna take a while, and I'm gonna be right back after the tracking is done. Alright, here you can see that the tracking is done. Let's see, somewhere here. Alright, so let's just grab this, right click, and create solid and camera. You can see that you have solid here. You can just rotate it, move it around, and I'll just apply a grid. If you can see that. So I think this is good. So let's go inside the footage. Inside this, we can select the footage, and I'll just delete the lumetri color because we don't need that anymore, right? So let's go here back to the POV clip. In fact, I'm going to rename the comp, Control K, and main edit. Rename it as main edit. Hit OK. Alright, so once you have the tracking, let's just turn off this layer. Let's just go and place the camera, which is this one, the camera. Just drag and drop it, and you can see the camera is here. We're gonna go and rotoscope this, right? So maybe right from here, I'm gonna trim this, hold down Alt and the left square bracket, and go to full resolution. Roto brush tool, double click it, and I'm going to paint it on the camera. Okay, it's very simple. You know how to do this. If you don't know how to do this, you can just follow along, or I have covered this rotoscoping process so many times in my other videos, but I'm still doing it again, so in case you don't know how to rotoscope. All right, so let's just select the camera, try to be as precise as possible. By the way, if you hold down Control and the left click the mouse, you can increase or decrease the size of the brush, or if you want to exclude, you can just hold down Alt and you can just paint, and that will exclude the parts. Okay, alright, so I will just hit the spacebar to go forward, and pay attention to the mask here. You can pause always. So I think you can just go back and forth by hitting the page up and or page down button on the keyboard. Let's just hit the spacebar. You can see here, just go back a few times by hitting page up. So somewhere around, I have to go forward here. Just paint it again, that page up, just refine the brush, selection. Just take your time to do this. You can see here, let's go back. So here I'll just hold on Alt, even here, let's go back again. I think even this one, so I think it's gonna be okay from here. So let's wait for a while. So just for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just letting this go, but if you're really serious about the project, you can just take your time to rotoscope this. Okay, all right, so that's done. You can just turn on the motion blur, and I can just shift the edges to a -10, and I'm just hit freeze. Okay, so it's gonna take a while to lock that mask, selected mask. All right, it has done freezing it. Let's just close this. Let's go back to the main comp. Okay, so first things first, let's pre-compose this. Control Shift and C, and move all attributes and adjust composition duration. Just check this, and I'm gonna rename this camera comp. Okay, hit OK, and I'm gonna make this a 3D. If you don't find this, go and click on this, make this a 3D, and once you hit that, it disappeared. I'm gonna just copy the position of this tracking, that's the solid layer that we have just created before. I'm gonna copy the position and Control C to copy and Control V to paste, and I'm gonna paste that onto that on the camera comp. Okay, so let's just scrub through the timeline. Let's just go to the point where just the second one, which is this one. Let's just extend this, and let's just try to align the size. So I will try to match this by moving the layers like this, and hit S to scale it up roughly somewhere around here, and just trim this back here. Right click, time, enable time remapping. I'm going to set a keyframe for the time remapping, and I'll just go back somewhere here and look at the camera, and let's see, let's just solo it, by the way, and maybe starts to lift from the ground somewhere around here. I'm going to set a keyframe for that and unsolo that. And maybe I forgot to add a keyframe for the position. Hit P, set a keyframe here, and let's just go back and hit U to see all the keyframes. And I can just delete the first time remapping keyframe, and I'm going to extend it backwards. Let's just go to half res. Let's just shrink the work area to somewhere here, and right after the hand gesture there, I want this to move here. Okay, so it starts from the ground, and here I'm gonna rotate. So here I'm gonna move it down here, and I think I'll add some rotation as well. So hit R, Shift R, and go here, and I'm gonna set a rotation keyframe here at the last here. I'm gonna go back here at the first keyframe. I'm gonna rotate it somewhere like this and move it somewhere here. Okay. Okay, and I will delete the grid effect on that solid, and I'm gonna change this Control Shift and Y solid to black, and rename this shadows. Hit OK, and I'm gonna scale it up, and selecting on the shadow layer, I'm gonna draw an ellipse tool, something like this, and you can just rotate it like this. hit F, feather it. That creates a nice shadows, and I'm going to hit M to animate the path, set a keyframe for the path, and once it moves up somewhere here, I can, double click it, hold down Control Shift, and shrink it down so they disappear. Select all the keyframes, F9 for easy ease, and you have it something like that. I think I need some more feathering there, something like that. Okay, I just need some hand rotoscoping here. So right from here, I'll just duplicate this footage, Control D, and I'm going to delete the camera tracker and trim this, hold down Alt and the left square bracket. I'm going to rename this hand roto, and I'm going to move forward more. Yeah, I think I just need that. I'll just hold down Alt and the right square bracket, and let's just go to full res. Select the roto brush tool, double click on the hand, and let's just go to the middle somewhere here, and let's just paint out the hands. Just simple. All right, just hit spacebar, and yeah. So I'm gonna freeze that one more time. So it's gonna take a while. Okay, let's just close this, and you can just put this roto just on top of the camera so that you have this. Okay, and the next step is to create some energy. Okay, so I just created a new comp, and I'm just going to add displacement map. Okay, so hit OK, and I'm going to create a new solid. I'm just going to grab the ellipse tool, select the solid, and I'm going to draw a circle. Place it roughly at the center here. You can't see anything right now because the background is black, so just turn on this transparent grid so that you can see what's going on here. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to animate the path of this. So from here, oops, set a keyframe for the mask path, and I think I'm going to move this somewhere around here, and maybe the size of this. If you want to scale it from the middle, you can just hold down Control and Shift at the same time, and it scales from the middle. And let's go back to the first keyframe, and I'm going to shrink it down. So I'm going to hit F9. I'm going to trim this, and what I'm going to do is I am going to duplicate the mask, and I'm going to subtract this one. Now, and maybe I'm going to hit U again to show up the keyframes. I'm going to select this and offset it, and maybe I'm going to subtract the second one. And what I'm going to do is hit F, and I'm going to feather this, both of this, Control D to duplicate this, and I'm going to stack this on top so it starts again. So I'm going to duplicate few copies. I'm going to stack it here, duplicate few copies, move it up. Okay, so I'm going to add an adjustment layer, and I'm going to go and search for displacement. So turbulent displace, add that, and you can see that you have some turbulent displace. Also, I'm going to add a Gaussian blur here on top and displacement at the bottom. I'm going to add a little bit of blur here to soften it more. And you can, just play with the evolution. Hold down Alt and click on the stopwatch. I'm going to type in time times maybe 100 or 200, depending on the speed that you want. You can see some random animation here. So I'm going to close this displacement map, go to the project panel, and go to the main comp. And I'm going to drop this displacement map here, make it a 3D. And I'm going to copy it to the position of the shadows. Control C and paste it. And I'm going to scale it up. I think I have to rotate it. Okay. And I'm gonna add an adjustment layer again. Make this a 3D layer and shift and parent it to the displacement map, and that will stick exactly to the position of that. And go to effects and presets and search for displacement map, drop it on the adjustment layer, and I'm going to turn off the displacement layer, map layer, and I'm going to set this displacement map to the displacement map and increase the displacement to, I don't know, 20 and 20, something like that. You can see some displacement there. So right now we don't need that, so I'm just going to lower the opacity of that adjustment layer to 0, and when it starts there, right, so from 0 to 100, okay, I can just trim this down, you can see, and I'm going to duplicate this displacement, maybe turn it on. So I'm going to add a fill effect, fill, and I'm going to match the color to this. I don't know. Yeah, that one. So change this blending mode to add, and also I'm going to add a glow, and I'll add some sort of glow here, something like that. Okay, and lower the opacity to maybe 30. Move this displacement. I can just rename to, I don't know, energy. Okay, hit S, and I'm gonna animate the scale, set a keyframe to this timing, just set it down to 0, select all the keyframes and hit F9 for easy ease, and bang, you have that. So you can see here the problem with this energy is it intersect with the shadow layer, right? So you can just, tweak it somewhere here, something like this. And what I also did was I added an energy overlay, which I downloaded from Vecteezy, which is this one. I'm going to drag and drop this, and I'm going to drop this just below the camera comp here. I'm going to make this a 3D, shift and parent it to the adjustment layer, and I'm going to scale it down, and I'm going to set the blending mode to screen or add, maybe add, and I can just, move it around, scale it. I'll just draw a mask with an ellipse tool, something like this. I'm going to feather it so that we don't have a hard edge. And, I can just these handles and extend it somewhere here, something like that. And I can also change the color so that it match with this. So to do that, I'm going to use hue and saturation. I'm going to drag and drop this into the layer and check this colorize and increase the saturation, and you can just scrub these values until you find the desired color. So for me, I'm going to stick with this, and yeah, that's how it is. Just move it here, and I'll do the same for this. I'm going to animate the scale from 0 to that, and F9 for easy ease. So it starts from here and it goes, and then it has to end somewhere around here. All right, so it's gonna end it here. Scale, set a keyframe. I'm gonna set this to 0, and bang. So I'm going to do the same for this. I'm gonna set a keyframe for the scale and set this energy to 0, and for the opacity of the adjustment layer to 0. Okay, you can just trim this layer, this and this 2 layers. Hold down Alt and the right square bracket, and of course the camera. right here, and I can trim this as well. So after that, let's go to the project panel and let's just drop the main edit inside the new composition, and I'm going to rename this Control K and shake. Okay, we're going to add some shake. So right after that, I'm going to add some shake. So I'm going to hit S and I'm going to scale this 105 and set a position keyframe here to here, from here. So between these keyframes, I'll add some wiggle. So I'll just go to wiggler, go to window, and you can just check this wiggler, and you can just input your values here, selecting on the keyframes. Say I'm gonna 20 and maybe 20, and I'm gonna apply that, and you can see some wiggle. Make sure you turn on the motion blur for the comp and for the layer. So right after that, I also added a radial blur here. Drag and drop it. And let's set this to zoom, and I'm going to set this to 0. From a 0, set a keyframe. From here to here, maybe 20. And I'm going to go down to 0 again. Okay, select all the keyframes. Hit U to show the keyframes. Select all the keyframes, F9. And once you grab the camera right here, I can just set a position keyframe here, and here I can just set another keyframe, select all the keyframes, and maybe I'm going to add a 30 and 20. Hit apply, and you can see that have some shake. So that's how I created this. I hope you learned something from this tutorial. Thanks a lot for watching the video, and I will see you in my next video. Take care.